Hello and welcome back to Settlement Survival. We are attempting to not just recover from this fire, but to get the fire to stop burning our entire town down to begin with. So we have a little bit of fire going, a little bit everywhere. It is unfortunately spreading up to our farmland. We have plenty of laborers, but there are a lot of homeless people in our settlement right now. And I'm kind of hoping the fire just kind of burns itself out, but I'm not confident that's going to happen. It keeps popping up over here. This is the second time this apartment is burned down. So I'm really hesitating on rebuilding any of this stuff until I can be confident that this fire is completely burned out. Because it is just aggressively tearing through our settlement. I can't recall the fire being this brutal the last time we had one. It's really, really bad. And then we have a tornado coming down the road as well. So this is going to be particularly nasty. And I'm hoping that we can just kind of push through this here. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, the fire looks like it's going to spread down here and burn all of this down here as well. So not boding well for us at the moment, but we'll see where this goes. I do have some supplies. I could buy some, like, this is all our alcohol production right here burning down right now, so it's gonna take a while for it to kind of come back. It is particularly annoying when something gets rebuilt and then burns down again. I would really like it to just stop burning down. Okay, so fire's out over here. This is up here. It's the last burning building. Hopefully this tapers out pretty quickly. Everything looks like it's being staged to be rebuilt, so we'll have to see what exactly happens here. That is going to use up most of our resources, so I don't think the fire has or will spread over to this side. I think we were doing herb seeds here because we were running low on that at this point. I don't really want to take on the immigrants right now. Maybe I will, but all right, we already have so many homeless people that I really don't think that might be a good idea. Well, I've got mixed thoughts on it, and this is kind of my line of thinking is we're probably going to lose a lot of laborers as people are homeless and they die. So it might be good to overstack our population just to buffer the amount of people that are going to perish in the winter and just have a greater number for recovery down the road. So from that perspective, I think it's okay. Just knowing that a lot of them will die, which is, probably a terrible way to think about it, but it is pragmatic, I guess. Let's see if we can do like a mass rebuild command over here just to get everything back to the way it was. We're still burning down over here, so I don't want to start any rebuilding at the moment. There we go. All right, so everything is not on fire now. So hopefully the rebuilding can commence and everything can start getting put back together. It is going to take a lot of resources to make that happen. So I'm a little worried about, like, we're already out of clothing, which I don't know where that all went. I'm guessing it must have burned down in a warehouse somewhere, which is really, really bad. But I was hoping we'd be in a little better shape than this, but at least we got rid of some of our surplus supplies and apparently pretty much all of our food. So we'll plenty of coal though, so no problems there. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna form a caravan and maybe send off some of our coal. Let's sell coal. Where is the coal? We could definitely sell this. Oh, cool. Some extra materials. That's good to have. Gems, 302. We could sell that. And then I assume maybe raw materials. All right, this weighs more, so we're gonna have to do like I don't know, 500, 750, 8, let's 900, a little bit over, 875. Close enough. Go ahead, add to the sell list. Let's buy insurance. 16,000. Let's just do it. Try to get some money. We're gonna need all the cash we can get to buy as much stuff, as much supplies as we can get to get this place back up and running. Because it is particularly brutal at the moment. Food, I'm a little concerned about. We did lose one plantation that shouldn't impact us too bad. Just because we should have enough food available from all the rest of this stuff. We'll have to see how that plays out. But I think it'll be okay. I might have gambled a little much on the population. It seems to still be going up, even with people dying. Research-wise, I feel like we're still making some pretty good progress overall. Although our book factory, no, it's still going. Okay, so we don't have to worry too much about that. I was worried that it all burned down and we were kind of out of luck, but I think we're in okay shape. Are these supposed to... Okay, they need steel to be rebuilt. So we're going to be kind of at a standstill because these parts aren't going to exist until this gets rebuilt. But this isn't going to exist until some of this other stuff gets rebuilt. So I think we're kind of just waiting on all these different supplies to become available to rebuild all this stuff. So we're kind of beholden to that at the moment. All right, here comes the winter. Very low food count. We did not harvest a lot of food this time around. I'm not exactly sure why. Or maybe we just used a lot of it already. But we definitely do not have a lot. I have a feeling a decent amount of people are going to die from freezing. But we'll see how that plays out. I'm hoping these buildings get rebuilt relatively soon. I do feel like I might need to prioritize both the sand pit and the where's the clay coming from? Kiln factory? We're definitely gonna need that. I don't know where... I mean, the clay... Here's the bricks, but where's the clay coming? We have a lot of clay in reserve, so it should be fine for the time being. Okay, so these are both sand pits. My guess is one was for clay and one was for sand. But we'll see how it plays out. All right, new reputation level was reached. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the different factions. I think was it Rania we just reached 4 with? This exquisite sword and more caravans to trade, which at this point we're not even sending 4, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, receive education here. Okay, so if we get that, it'll increase our research speed even more, which, to be honest, we're kind of running to the end here. We only have, I think, 5 technologies left to Uh, Live to learn. I don't really need that. The Cubs for I'll still get it, but I think we've unlocked all the animals, so there's really nothing left to gain from that. It's kind of a pointless tech at this stage of the game. All right. What are we currently working on and rebuilding? Feel like it's taking way too long to rebuild some of this stuff. Like, why hasn't it moved on this or any of these, which the materials are available for? And I'm thinking the builder's cabin is probably, it says total workers 12. So do we have another builder's cabin somewhere that I've forgotten about? Thinking that might be the case. I'm looking for the icon. Usually when you pick a building, it'll make all the similar buildings glow. Yep, here we are. It's right here. So we do have 12 workers dedicated just to building stuff. So that should be enough to get things mostly back up and running. It almost looks like it's starting up here and working its way down, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. Nobody should be thirsty. There's definitely plenty of beverage, even if it's just water. Um, City stress is definitely really high. Hopefully that'll start coming down. I'm very nervous about this tornado coming through. Because we're already so damaged. I don't really want to deal with more fallout. But at this point, all we can do is wait. It's gonna take probably a couple years to rebuild from all this damage. I'm hoping the tornado. I mean, it's kind of hard for it to be harmless because we have pretty much built on the entire map. So something's going to get destroyed. Probably a lot of things. But we'll hopefully maybe we'll get lucky. It'll tear right through here where all this stuff is already broken. We don't have to worry that much about it. We do not have a lot of clothes, and I don't know where that's all going. I feel like we bought like 2,000 and it was good, and now everybody's got no clothing again. How many people have died? That is a lot. All right, this number's surprisingly still going up, although we have a lull here. This was capped at 200 with the amount of students that we had based on the schools we had, and we're not hitting that 200 anymore. So I think like generationally, as these people die off, we're not going to have as many people to replenish it. So the labor number will probably start to decline, which is okay. All right, so the tornado should be coming through pretty soon. Does the tornado hit your town? Where is it at? I'm waiting. Up, oh, there it is. It's coming through. Oh man, it is wreaking some havoc. All right, those buildings were already destroyed. Oh no, it took them out entirely. Why did it do that? It's supposed to rebuild them. Let's take out some of the production buildings over here too. That's really unfortunate. And the wood? Not the wood. I mean, I suppose I could just chop all this down. Let's just do a gather all and get all this stuff. Everybody's homeless anyway. They need something to do. All right, so that tornado was not good, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I don't know why it demolished the housing here and didn't leave like a rebuild structure. It just straight up deleted it. This apiary. Something got deleted from here. And I don't know what building it was. That's a little concerning. All right, so I have the orchards, supply terminal, lighting, apiary. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's see what gets rebuilt. We'll go from there. It looks like it actually deleted these buildings as well. Yeah, so I actually don't have the what you call it anymore. Where is the building I'm looking for? Like the sand. No, I need the resource building. That's what I'm looking for. The sand pit. Oh, wrong button. Okay, so rotate. We had one there. Probably one here, I'd imagine. It's the only spot it fits. Okay, so these need to resume their production of building kits, because that's definitely what needs to be focused on at the moment. And this was toolkits, I think, which I guess we'll still go ahead and produce. But we really need this ancient smeltery up, because we're going to need all the steel we can get. This is going to be a particularly long and drawn out rebuild process. Yeah. Well, we have a decent amount of planks and stuff in reserve. This I was doing silk, I believe. I wanted to expand the silk production. Although some of these trade buildings got just demolished last time around. Okay, caravan returned to town. I'm surprised the food is doing so poorly, given the amount of resources we had available. I mean, I know some of the plantations got destroyed, and we had a lot more people, but you see those numbers did drop quite a bit. So people are dying. We are losing laborers. I missed the boat. That's unfortunate. I was so focused on the rebuilding that I completely overlooked it. Okay, some of this stuff is starting to come back, which is really important. So hoping I'm hoping sooner than later they get this stuff built back up, because it is getting a little dicey up in here. I definitely need the glass factory back up. So let's up that and see if that helps increase the production. All right. Oh, yeah, they're working on it now. How are we on iron? We're good. So we have a lot of these resources. We just need the people to actually buckle down and build it. Which they are. They're like sporadically building all these different things. How is the sawmill coming along? Still working on planks. Got a good amount of those. All right, we clearly need to get glass production back up and running. Oh, we do have a sand pit that's just getting sand over here. Well, that's good. we should have plenty of reed available, unless we lost it. I'm hoping we have a fair amount. Yeah, we got plenty. So that's not high priority at all, but we should still rebuild everything we can. Okay, we have another tech point acquired. Let's go ahead and slap that in. We'll just do luxury streets, even though we're not gonna actually build that, I don't think. Gold and jade roads, that's insane. And then we'll just finish up the processing here. All right, well, pretty much every building is at least flagged to be rebuilt at this point, with the exception of some of these garden villas that I think were over here. Was this a garden villa? I don't even know. I'm gonna remove... I don't have any spirits for that. I'm gonna remove these roads, and I think I'm gonna... Oh, I didn't want to do that. Cancel. I think I'm gonna build maybe a luxury apartment over here if I can. Yeah. That should be good. And I could maybe sneak in a garden villa over here, or a couple garden villas. Let's go ahead and remove that road. Maybe we'll build another road to connect up over here. Should be good. And then we'll pop down maybe another garden villa right here. All right, we'll get that rebuilt. Hopefully that'll put it in a decent working spot. Where are we at here? We need staple food. We need some more wheat. We're gonna need some corn over here. Just try to output as much as possible. Why are we not rebuilding all of this stuff? All of this should be rebuilt. Definitely want to rebuild everything here. Maybe not this warehouse. Maybe I'll put a big warehouse over here. I don't know what was there. It had to be something relatively important. I can't think of it off the top of my head, though. It would have had to be something that was around for a long time. I guess I'll tell them to make ropes here. I feel like that's kind of a shortcoming at the moment. Let's look at logistics. It's way too big. This will fit, but it definitely wasn't what was there before. Maybe I could build a giant mountain warehouse over here. That might be even better. And then we could just store all the food in there. That should be pretty good. Okay, so this is slowly but surely recovering. Maybe we should up the transfer stations just so we have more available to move around at any given time. Let's go ahead and work on maybe clay in these spots because we have sand over here. And I feel like we have probably plenty of every resource, but we're going to use a fair amount of clay rebuilding all this stuff. Go ahead and get this reed field back up and running. All these little question marks that are going to be popping up for a while. I do have to issue a rebuild command for this section as well so that they don't forget to rebuild that. Okay, some of our industrial stuff down here is starting to show back up. So let's go ahead and make some beer here. This is another steel production here. Here we can do probably, I guess more steel. All right, we're starting to get back to something resembling normal, I think. The clothing is definitely an issue. I'm hoping that gets sorted out on its own. I don't think it will, but I think there's just not enough production happening. I was hoping the wool would really help out with that. That's wool and refined leather or seal fur. And we're definitely getting seal fur from here, although not a significant amount at all. Uh, very small amount, as a matter of fact. So I might need to up that production. All right, what else? Silken wool also makes the luxury coats. Refined leather. Right, so there's definitely some options here. Right, refined leather, these factories were destroyed. These are what made refined leather. So I do need to kind of focus on getting these back up and running. Because we're definitely struggling from a loss of those resources. I don't think they can finish building these buildings until we have more like luxury furniture and silverware again. So that is also problematic. We're gonna have to put a little effort on getting that up and running. What are our options over here? We need to fill all these job roles. Let's go ahead and make the refined fuel. Make more steel here. Open up those positions. This, I was making probably some form of tool, I would think. Or maybe I was making hand carts. Let's just make hand carts there. We are making these tools over here, and we seem to be getting by decently fine with that. So we'll go ahead and focus our efforts on that. I do want to have another place making beer. So we'll get that up and running. Okay. So a lot of our production should be relatively back in business at this point. Not completely, but we're getting there. The housing is a little bit of an issue. I'm not seeing that as having come back entirely yet, but we are slowly but surely getting there. In a way, I'm almost glad they're focusing on the production buildings first, because we're going to need those resources to rebuild some of this other stuff. So housing isn't as much of a problem anymore because we've lost about 300 citizens. So there's more room for people to live in the buildings that didn't get destroyed. So that'll be remedied at some point in the relatively near future. But I am really gonna have to focus on the clothing piece once everything's back up and running. I know last time we bought some clothes, and we could probably do that again, just for the sake of buying and selling. Let's go ahead and look at what we got. I feel like we have a fair amount of fat here. I'm just going to go ahead and sell this. And then we'll buy clothing. That's not quite. Yeah, we're going to need to bring that down like 250-ish. That should be fine. Let's go ahead and form a caravan with that. I think we could just do the same thing a couple times. Yep, looks like we're saving real quick here. All right, sell and then go to buy. Let's go to clothing. Let's do 300. No, 250 luxury coats. Form that caravan. Let's do that again. I think blubber was the other thing we had a ton of. Well, not as much as that. All right, so I'm just trading a massive amount of renderable fat for coats, which is kind of funny. But hey, you do what you got to do, right? Sell the material you got and buy what you need. Okay, so we got a bunch of caravans going now to trade for clothing and clothing materials. Hopefully we'll get that back up and running. Let's go ahead and make paper here. So we got paper going, we got books going. That should help with the tech stuff. This was tomatoes. I want to get that going. I don't really need reeds, but we'll go ahead and get that going anyway. Okay. Here's where we need refined leather. Okay, we don't have as much leather as I imagined we would. I guess I'm surprised that this isn't... all these animal farms aren't producing more leather than that. Yeah. All right, well, at least that production is back up and running. We do have silk being produced on a pretty regular basis. So between all of that, hopefully this will be in a better spot. Don't know if we need 3 workers here, but we'll go ahead and put them in. Are we lacking any particular place? We are starting to run low on laborers, interestingly enough. Tech. We're coming up on another tech point, but we're not quite there yet. Let's go ahead and slap some more wheat in here, because I feel like food is surprisingly short, and I'm not exactly sure why. Let's get more wheat going here, and more wheat going here. All right, merchant ship has arrived at the dock. So let's go ahead and make sure we don't miss it this time around. What do I need versus what do I sell? Let's go ahead and sell everything we can. I could probably sell more reed than I currently am, but we'll leave it at that for now. I'm not gonna sell any corn. I feel like we probably shouldn't be doing that right now. Alpaca wool, we still have a lot here, so we can go ahead and do that. How much money is that total? 15,000. Let's buy some spirits. I think that is a good idea. Silver cutlery, we have enough. Toolkits, we are a little low on. That's way too much. 200. Okay. So maybe we up the medicinal liquor a little bit. Yeah, that should be good enough. Confirm, done. Resources spent and supplies increased. Okay, so I think this is probably a good spot to put the cut in for today. We have rebuilt a large portion of our town. We have most things back up and running. Maybe not everything, but most things are back up and running. Our population The happiness is coming back up. The stress levels starting to come back down. We're starting to stabilize our population a little bit. Overall, I think most of our stuff down here is rebuilt and, you know, kind of back in business. So we'll go ahead and um, I guess consider that kind of a success. We did send out a bunch of caravans to buy some more clothing to restock our current, you know, significant shortfall. So that should address that. And then as time goes on, we should end up being in a position where this housing gets rebuilt, and that will overcome this current housing shortage, food shortage. We're doing our best that we can, and we're doing that by upping the staple food production up here. We just rebuilt like 5 plantations. Not all of them will get their full yield this year because it was already part way through the season when they started growing, but hopefully this will just get better and better over time as we start doing this more and more. So overall, I think this will end up being a fairly successful recovery if things go well. There is another fire on the horizon though, so we'll see how that goes next episode. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content in the future, and we will catch you in the next one.